Hey guys, welcome to an interesting video on Wild Rift. So today we're back with a Jhin supplementary guide, and today we're going to be taking a look at fleet footwork on Jhin slash celerity on Jhin. Of course, the build is exactly the same as what I used in the updated complete guide. So actually I'm going to put it up in the cards above right now so you can take a look at that for the more in-depth explanation. I'm just going to jump through it real quickly because I already explained it in that one. Basically, you want to go for early game lethality just for the burst damage, as well as blaster for the burst damage, and of course IE to boost your crit, and more reminder standard anti-heal and armor pen, and defensive item as your last item. So for the runes here, we're going for fleet footwork instead of going for Dark Harvest. And I do think Dark Harvest is the better rune for Jhin right now. Let's take a look at the top players. So I do believe that the influencers are all taking Dark Harvest, of course, but the top players are actually taking fleet. We have one Dark Harvest, so both are kind of good on Jhin, right? I mean, fleet is still an amazing rune on Jhin. You get the extra movement speed, you get the extra healing, so it's very useful, especially in the earlier parts of the game with the healing in lane, and of course with the movement speed, it's useful throughout the game. And yeah, and of course the attack speed does convert into bonus AD, so you do get a little bit of bonus AD from fleet as well. Right, the rest of the runes for brutal, you can go for brutal or gathering storm because Jhin doesn't auto attack that much, so he doesn't really get very much value from both. Giant Slayer is pretty standard. Bloodline is the only way to go because Alacrity is going to convert into AD. I don't think the conversion is worth it, so I think Bloodline is just better. So here we actually have Celerity. So Celerity is you gain 2% movement speed, and all movement speed bonuses on you are increased by 7%. So this includes your fleet movement speed and of course your movement speed from your passive. So you will see in this game that actually the extra celerity movement speed does actually come into play. Now, do I think celerity is the way to go on Jhin? I think it's definitely a very viable option, although I don't know if the value you get from celerity is worth not having bone plating on, because with bone plating is very solid, so you can literally see how much damage bone plating blocked, but with celerity, since you only gain movement speed, you can't really tell how much damage celerity actually saved you, right? You could have dodged like a huge ability from celerity. Maybe you dodged in a movement engage because of that celerity, right? And that could have saved you thousands of damage, right? But on the other hand, sometimes you don't really make that good use of the movement speed, or it could have allowed you to run someone down and get a kill. So it gave you a lot of goal value. So celerity versus bone plating is a very tough debate, I guess you could say. But for the spells, you want to go for Flash. Ghost is probably the best summon spell you can go on Jhin, just for the extra movement speed to kind of kite around fights and things like that. Of course, the movement speed is also boosted by Celerity, so that helps out even more, I guess. I do go for Cleanse if we need it though. But with all that said, now let's take a look at our gameplay. Okay, so let's take a look at the gameplay itself. Right? So there's a real main kind of topic to talk about, which is really just talking about Fleet versus Dark Harvest and whether Celerity is kind of worth to take or not, right? Of course, Celerity is a brand new rune. 2% extra movement speed, always going to be helpful. The 7% extra bonuses from your movement speed bonuses, there are a lot of ways you can proc this. Of course, you can proc it off your fleet, you can proc it off your passive in this game. You can I can proc it off my ghost as well. I can also proc it off Nami movement speed, because Nami, like when she heals you or when when she casts spells on you, you will get bonus movement speed as well. So that helps out there as well. Some other places you can use it on is like the Skull Crab Shrine should proc celerity as well. So overall, just pretty helpful. I'm here against a Lucian in the set. Unfortunately, although it looks like it's a pretty close fight, it really isn't, because Lucian has barrier, so that kind of means that Lucian is pretty much always guaranteed to win early game fights. And this kind of leads to my point in the previous video that I made on Lucian, which is one of the reasons why I like to take barrier on Lucian, right? Because Lucian in those early game fights, like with barrier, it's really hard to play against him, right? And this is kind of one of the reasons why. So I do end up becoming the first blood. Definitely not a great start to the game. Nami, unfortunately, gets Lucian to 1 HP and gets set really low as well, but Nocturne turns up and is able to clean up the Nami, so not a good start for my lane. So let's start talking about the main kind of arguments. So first up is Celerity. Now I already touched on this in the loadout section of the video, if you guys haven't seen that. But basically, comparing bone plating and celerity is really difficult, because bone plating you get a very solid value. Also, by the way, guys, that celerity movement speed helped me to escape the set pull there. Like, I just barely got out of the set pull. I think without celerity, I actually don't think I actually would have escaped that. So anyway, so like that is kind of leading to the point that I wanted to make, right? Because with bone plating, you have very solid number values. You can see exactly how much damage you blocked, and you can basically see how much damage that the bone plating gave you. But with celerity, with movement speed, you can't actually see any numbers, right? Like, it's impossible for Riot to give you numbers, because, for example, there, let's say without celerity, I would have gone pulled in by Set, which means I would have taken his auto attack damage, I would have taken his W damage, and I would have just taken a ton of damage. Maybe I lose half of my health, right? So that is already celerity giving you value right there. Number one, escaping damage. Of course, number two, we have running people down and doing extra damage. As Set here tries to catch me out, but ends up taking a bunch of damage himself. He's pretty low now, does pop the W for that shielding. And yeah, so you might have not have been able to get a kill if you didn't have celerity to increase the movement speed of your Ghost or Jhin's passive for that matter. So you can't really quantify the value of celerity. So really, my personal advice as to whether you should take celerity or not is really you take it for a few games and see how you feel. Like if you don't really feel any difference, of course there is a difference, but if you can't feel any difference, probably just take bone plating, right? And if you actually feel the difference with celerity like I did in this game, then maybe celerity is kind of the way that you want to go. Now, next up is the comparison between Dark Harvest as well as going for Fleet. So now, I think personally for me in this current meta, I personally think Dark Harvest is almost always better. Because Jhin is one of those ADCs that deal a lot of burst damage, and with this current meta where burst damage ADCs are a lot stronger than attack speed ADCs, as Set here gets completely caught out, takes a lot of free damage. It's very easy to get Dark Harvest procs, and it's going to scale very well into late game, especially if you snowball. Now, I'm not going to lie, most games that I play Jhin, I do end up snowballing one way or the other. Like, even this game where I start the game like 0 and 1, and Nami's like 0 and 2, I still end up snowballing the game somehow, and I still end up, in the end doing pretty well. As here now, Set is kind of getting caught out, paying for Jhin's sins here. I have my ulti ready. I'm gonna pop the ulti, start blasting the Set. I actually hit him with the 2 bullets. Unfortunately, I'm not hitting the Lucian, and we do get a kill onto the Set. So I do end up snowballing majority of the time. So the Dark Harvest is gonna definitely be very useful in those instances, and it is definitely gonna help you out a lot. However, Fleet is the more consistent of the two options. I would say that if you're playing in like maybe higher elo, or if like the enemy team is like tankier stuff, then maybe Fleet would be better, right? Because Fleet, of course, is consistent throughout the whole game. It helps you out a ton in the early game with the healing, but the movement speed that you get from Fleet and the AD conversion, attack speed to AD conversion is going to be very consistent, right? So Dark Harvest kind of, it performs very well when you snowball, but if you don't snowball, it's kind of like an okay kind of rune. But with Fleet, it's pretty much always going to be good, right? So it's really about consistency versus like snowballing, which is definitely something you have to kind of balance out. Now for me, I think going for Dark Harvest just makes more sense currently with how strong Dark Harvest is and how strong Jhin is. Now, Dark Harvest is actually a bit of a polarizing rune because I've seen people say that Dark Harvest is really weak, but there are also people like me who think Dark Harvest is really strong. So I think this is just a lot about your own personal experience, as here again, completely caught out. And here, I thought I was getting completely caught out, but actually I'm not taking a lot of damage at all. So here I actually flash over the wall, but then I realized that, wait a minute, I can just kill the Nocturne. Like, I didn't even really need to flash there. The Set wasn't really even focusing me anymore. And then my whole team basically died, so situation isn't exactly the best in the world, but personally I was actually kind of fine in that situation. I didn't think, of course I was getting caught up by like 3 people, so I was like, I gotta get out of here, I gotta flash out, but then I realized that actually I'm not really even getting focused, so kind of funny there. So here I popped the ult to try to snipe the Lucian. The problem is that I got no vision, so I'm really just launching into the darkness and hoping that I hit him, right? If I hit him once, I probably kill him because he gets slowed and I probably can hit him again, but unfortunately I missed all 4 of my shots because I just can't see him. So I guess not too big of a surprise there. So here Rumble is actually coming to go for Dragon instead of defending his lane. So this means Fiora is going to have some free time to actually work on the tower. If she realizes that Rumble is actually here. And I don't think we need Rumble's help, but this is a completely uncontested objective. And Fiora is starting to realize that, wait a minute, Rumble is not here. Let me just hit the tower, which is definitely what she should be doing. And the fight starts breaking out here, and Nocturne is ulting me, so I'm cautiously making my way to the fight. I see Nocturne like in my small little field of view. Double flash to chase down the Nocturne. And I don't quite have ult, so I can't really reach, but Nocturne just runs straight into me, so I get a free kill, and Fiora is getting a free tower, gets the first tower of the game. I spot Orianna here. I'm not sure why she's so far up, because she definitely underestimates Jhin's burst damage. Now, if I had Dark Harvest there, I think I'd kill her there without having Ziggs to ult. But yeah, of course, as I said, between Fleet and Dark Harvest, both have their pros and cons, so both gives you a lot of different benefits. Both are great runes for Jhin. Just because Dark Harvest came out doesn't mean Fleet is bad anymore. Fleet's still a great rune for Jhin. Meanwhile, we're going to go back to clearing the wave. We're not sure where Lucian is. Set is clearly making his way back up. You can see we have the area pretty well warded. So we definitely know the enemy movements. Now Lucian, nowhere to be seen. Might be, I don't think he's AFK, but might be having connection issues or something, because he did stand still a little bit there just now. So here we're making our way back to the lane. We picked up an early Gale Force because I think that extra mobility is going to come in pretty handy, especially against the likes of Set and Nocturne. Lucian back in the lane, Set with the Hex Slash forward. You can see I Gale Force away right there. I get ulted by the Set. And I'm fine right now because Lucian is not actually doing any damage. Set W's nobody. Lucian now taking some damage from me. I tried to flash over because I thought Lucian's going to walk this way. Now Bubble comes in from Nami. I'm going to finish him off with the W, and Set is going to follow right after. Now unfortunately Nocturne ults in on me and just picks up a free kill because there's really nothing I can do when Nocturne just ults on me and I'm like 1 HP. Like, what can I really do here? So I do end up dying to the Nocturne. So here the fight continues with Xin Zhao engaging onto him. Rumble ults absolutely nobody. And this is going to be a trend, right? I don't think Rumble hits a single ult this entire game. Like, every time we look at him, he is just ulting nothing, right? And when at the times that I'm dead or like I'm on the screen with him, you guys will see that he basically just ults nothing consistently, which is criminal. So anyways, I've respawned, I'm making my way back to the fight, and this is pretty funny, right? So here I pop the ulti, I managed to get the snipe onto the Fiora. I'm just trying to snipe down Lucian, but Set shows up right beside me, so he's 1 HP, and he's trying to disrupt my ult to save his teammates, I believe, but his teammates were technically already safe. So I ended up just killing him with my 4th shot, and here Nocturne overextends. I'm going to finish him off. Orianna decides to ult me. I'm just going to 4th shot her from over the wall, and we pick up a free double kill as well as a free red buff. So I think overall that's a pretty well played by me. It's basically an unofficial quadra kill there with 2 double kills in a row. Of course the timer kind of ran out there. And then here I'm just farming the enemy jungle, right, as we do. So here I have not yet encountered the Fiora this entire game, right? Of course, we know she has like solo tower go and stuff like that, so she's just running me down. I'm thinking I'm fine, I'm just gonna ghost, I'm just gonna run away. She flashes, pops all of the sweet spots, and I'm just panicking and mispositioning there to let her hit her last sweet spot when I should really be positioning the other way around, so I kind of just messed up there, and I do end up going down to her. However, this is honestly, I'm not gonna say that it's fine, but now we kind of know that we can't go anywhere near the Fiora because she's just gonna run us down. Like, I honestly, like, my thought process there was that if anyone comes for me, I'm just gonna ghost and run away. I should be completely fine, but that was completely wrong. So here we pan over to the Rumble again, who's in a fight with the Nocturne. Once again, ults nothing, doesn't even ult minions, just ults the floor. This must be the auto target ult for Rumble, right? Like, this must be the auto target ult that obviously auto targets nothing all the time. Like Victor, E, and Rumble ult, like they have the special targeting systems, but when you auto target them, it never works out. So if you want to play Rumble, please learn how to manually target your ult. So here I'm just going past the Set and just killing the Lucian. Now Set is now left alone. He's building full tank. He doesn't really do very much damage. I'm just going to ward here. Ziggs missing everything. I'm not even sure. Yeah, Ziggs did get an assist because I think he actually auto, but I think he missed like all of his spells. Anyways, now Dragon is up. The bot lane is dead. Fiora is dead. It's only Nocturne and Orianna left. I don't expect them to be contesting this dragon, so we're going to be able to get it pretty easily. And at this point, Baron actually spawns. We're not going to go for the Baron yet though, because of course respawns are not coming in from the enemy team. And instead, I really just want that bot wave, right? There's a huge bot wave there. This Rumble is absolutely useless. We don't want him to be taking this wave. He's taking the Hex Gate over, and I'm trying to take the wave as quickly as I can before he can get over. He does get the cannon, but I managed to get basically everything else. Thankfully, because this Rumble is not going to be who's carrying me in the game. Right? His ulti is hitting nothing, so his basically only main value is just burning people alive with his Q. And here Nocturne tries to steal our blue buff, right, which is unacceptable. We can't let that happen, so we're just going to root him. We're going to follow up, Nami with the bubble, and 4th shot. Now once again, Dark Harvest there would have helped me kill him, but I used the Gale Force instead to finish him off. And here at this point, we are really fed. We're now 12-3. Now Fiora trying to run down Xin Zhao, but we're going to pop the ulti. Bubble comes in from Nami, allowing me to hit the 4th shot of the ulti for free onto her without any chance to miss, and we pick up yet another kill. And at this point, I believe we have enough gold for the IE with all those kills that we've gotten. There we go. So we got IE and an additional longsword as well to boot. Pretty nice. So here you can see we're 13-3 in like 12 minutes, and despite that horrendous start to the game, so I feel Jhin is just really, really strong right now. His snowball potential is pretty insane. Nami with the wave onto the set. We're gonna follow up with the root. Set flashes away. Rel still trying to run him down. Gale force forward. He goes down. Orianna, I expected her to ult there, but she didn't, so we're just gonna kill her instead. And I'm thinking, oh, this could be a penta angle, so I'm just trying to run down the Lucian. Lucian, unfortunately, with that barrier, stops me from actually killing him. Fiora runs down the Nami, and now I'm realizing, uh-oh, it's Fiora running me down again. Now it's Nocturne running me down, and I'm trying to get away, but I can't. Nocturne, I'm not even gonna say if he hit that ult because he had Spell Shield. Nocturne had Spell Shield, I don't even think he took damage from that ult, so, but at least that was the first ult that's kind of on target. Like, at least it was on top of the Nocturne for a little bit. So we'll cut him some slack here. And Xin Zhao now looking to push in this wave while Ziggs and Rumble secure that tower, the inhib tower in the mid lane. Of course, Xin Zhao, being the good jungler that he is, also getting in some counter jungling. The main issue here is the fact that he doesn't actually have any mana, so if anybody from the enemy team kind of decides to show up at this point, he is going to be in deep trouble because he doesn't have the mana to actually fight back at all. So whilst he's farming the enemy jungle, I'm going to be farming his jungle because why not? And here he's taking the Hex Gate over to go and contest the enemy blue buff. I'm kind of semi-nearby, so if I need to, I can ult to help out. However, the main issue with that is Nocturne now hits the ulti himself, so I can't actually see. So I'm just launching a random W there. I'm just, again, Rumble ult hits nothing. I'm just now running in. And once again here, I'm like, wait a minute, this is a huge team fight. This could be Penta opportunity, so I'm trying to run people down. And once again, the Lucian is getting away. I could ult to try to kill him here. Actually, maybe I should have, right? Because if I actually hit my bullets, I think I actually kill him, and then maybe we run down the Fiora and get a Penta. But yeah, this game is like, I'm so fed, it's like, when you're so fed, you're kind of like in the mindset of like, you know, this could be a penta angle, right? And we secure the kill onto her as well. And the next dragon is going to be coming up soon. Baron, of course, is still up and has been up for this entire time. And now we're going to reset. We're going to pick up the Mole Reminder. And here at this point, I'm kind of thinking like, what should I even go last item? So I just pick up a random longsword first. We can kind of sell it later if we really need to, because here, like, Maw doesn't make sense because it's just Orianna and she's not doing very well, right? So something like physical damage, some armor-based item is probably makes more sense. So I'm actually thinking probably GA is going to be the best option. We get a revive, we get some armor as well. We also get AD. And that's probably going to be the way to go here. Nocturne in a little bit of trouble once again. I can't quite see that he's in trouble though, so I'm really just walking towards where I think the fight is, because I don't think he's going to jump on me and kill me randomly, so I'm just walking to where I think the fight is. I'm pinging for Baron here, but my whole team is already on the dragon, so I'm like, alright, fine, we can do the dragon and then we can walk over to the Baron. I mean, this will be Ocean Soul for my team, but I don't really think Ocean Soul is very helpful. I really only like Ice Dragon Soul and like Infernal Soul. I kind of think Mountain Soul and Ocean Soul are kind of useless in general. I don't really think they do very much. Now, the thing is that my team is now going for a fight, right? So I can't go to the Baron because, you know, my team is going to be in trouble without me in the fight. So here I'm foreshadowing the tower. Tower's 1 HP, there we go. Lucian running for the hills. I'm just going to try to snipe him down. He goes down to my team, I believe, with the slow from my ulti. And now I'm realizing that, you know, with so many enemies there, we may not even need the Baron to actually end the game. It's only Nocturne and Orianna that's alive. I try to Gale Force into a combo on Orianna. Orianna pops the stasis. Nocturne in trouble, has to flash away. Orianna does not have ult because she just used it. So I'm just blasting the tower. And Rumble with a first good ult of the game actually hits both of them and stops them from coming towards us with that slow. And here I want to kill Orianna before the game ends. The next wave is coming in. I'm just going to flash forward, kill the Orianna. We have 4th shot. 4th shot the base. It's left at like 50 HP. And Rumble goes in and finishes the job. So, with all that, I'm going to leave you guys with these stats as usual. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.